The song ended hours ago. But your brain did not get the message. One tiny piece keeps looping, again and again, as if someone left a speaker on inside your head. The strange part is not that you remember the song. It is that the song seems to remember you. You can be brushing your teeth, trying to work, or lying in bed, and suddenly it is there again. Not the whole song, usually just a few seconds, a chorus, a rhythm, one phrase without the words. Scientists have a name for this. It is called involuntary musical imagery, or INMI. In plain English, it means music that appears in your mind without you choosing it, and then repeats without you fully controlling it. People call it an earworm. But an earworm is not just a catchy song. It is a loop made out of memory, attention, and imagined sound. Your brain is not playing music from the outside world anymore. It is rebuilding a small piece of it from the inside. The music is gone, but the pattern is still available. In one large Finnish internet survey, researcher Lassi Liikinen found that earworms were not rare at all. About 89% of participants reported experiencing involuntary music at least once a week. About a third reported it every day. So if a song has been following you around, that does not make your brain unusual. But why that song? Why not the whole track? Why one annoying little fragment? Research by Victoria Williamson and colleagues looked at how earworms begin in everyday life. They found that they often start in a few familiar ways, after recent music exposure, after a memory cue, during a mood shift, or when your attention is loose. That last part matters. Earworms often arrive when the mind is not fully occupied, walking, showering, waiting, folding clothes, trying to fall asleep. Your brain is awake enough to wander, but not busy enough to hold the musical door shut. A word can do it. A place can do it. A rhythm in traffic can do it. A shop speaker can play 10 seconds of a song, and hours later, your memory reopens the file. The brain is built to use cues. A smell can unlock a memory. A face can pull back a feeling. And a tiny sound or phrase can wake up a song stored in long-term memory. Once the song is awake, your brain does something even stranger. It does not need sound to hear. In a classic nature study, Daniel Kramer, Neil McRae, Andrea Green, and William Kelly scanned people while familiar songs contained silent gaps. During those gaps, many people seemed to mentally continue the song, and auditory areas of the brain still became active. The outside music had stopped. The brain filled in the missing part. That is why an earworm can feel so close to hearing. You are not hearing it with your ears, but your brain can simulate pieces of sound well enough that the song has texture, it has tempo, it has a direction it wants to go. In other words, the mind has a private speaker, but that still does not explain why it loops. For that, you have to look at the way memory likes patterns. Music is not random noise. It is structure. It repeats. It predicts. It builds tension, then releases it. Your brain is very good at learning patterns like that because prediction is one of the things it does all day. A melody tells the brain, this note usually leads to that note. This rhythm usually comes back here. This phrase is unfinished until it lands there. So when you remember one piece, the next piece is invited. And if the memory is only a fragment, the brain may keep circling the fragment instead of moving on. This is one reason the earworm is rarely the whole song. Your mind does not need the whole song to get caught. It only needs a loop small enough to rehearse and familiar enough to predict. Kelly Jakubowski and colleagues studied songs that people frequently named as earworms. Their research suggested that common earworm songs were often popular, relatively recent, faster in tempo, and built with familiar melodic shapes, plus small, unusual twists. That is a powerful recipe, familiar enough to remember, fast enough to move, simple enough to replay, but just surprising enough that the brain keeps checking it. This does not mean there is a magic formula. Your memories, mood, and listening matter. But some songs are more loop-friendly than others. They fit neatly inside the mind. There is another layer too, the body. An earworm is not always just inner hearing. Sometimes it behaves like inner singing. You may notice your tongue almost moving, your throat lightly preparing the phrase, your breath finding the rhythm, even when you are silent. Psychologist Philip Beeman with Kitty Powell and Ellie Rapley ran experiments where people chewed gum after hearing music. Chewing gum reduced both voluntary and unwanted musical thoughts. The point is not that gum is a guaranteed cure. The point is stranger. Occupying the mouth may interfere with the motor planning that helps an earworm keep appearing. So the loop may be partly auditory and partly physical. Your brain is not only imagining the song, it may be quietly preparing to perform it. This connects to a classic idea called the phonological loop, associated with Alan Baddeley's model of working memory. The basic idea is that the mind can briefly hold sound-based information by rehearsing it, almost like a silent voice repeating a phone number. Earworms are not identical to remembering a phone number, but they may borrow some of the same machinery. A small sound pattern gets held, then rehearsed, then refreshed, then held again. That is why fighting the song can feel oddly useless. When you think, "Stop playing that," you are still checking whether it is playing. When you scan for silence, you keep touching the loop, and every touch may refresh it. The attempt to erase the song can become another way of remembering it. This is also why earworms often show up at night. Not because your brain is broken, because the room gets quiet. Tasks disappear, the outside world lowers its volume, and the inside world gets louder. Some research on bedtime music suggests that music near sleep can lead to nighttime earworms, and may be linked with poorer sleep in some people. That does not mean music before bed is bad for everyone, but it does reveal something important. The brain can keep processing music after the music has ended. Modern life is almost designed to feed this system. Short videos repeat hooks. Ads compress songs into jingles. Shops play choruses in the background. Phones deliver the same musical cues every day. The brain that learns through repetition now lives inside a world of engineered loops. So when a song gets stuck for days, it may not be one continuous song playing the whole time. It may be a memory being recued. You hear it once, then a word wakes it up. You forget it, then boredom brings it back. You push it away, then the effort reminds you. You sleep, wake up, and the same tiny phrase is waiting near the surface. Not one long loop. A loop that keeps finding doors back in. Most of the time, this is harmless. It can even be pleasant. Many earworms are neutral or enjoyable, like the mind is humming to itself while it works. But the reason it feels uncanny is that it blurs a boundary. You usually think of music as something you choose. You press play, you stop it, you change the song. An earworm reminds you that part of your mind is always playing with patterns beneath your permission. It stores them, it tests them, it predicts what comes next. And sometimes, when the conditions are right, it hands one back to you on repeat. So the next time a song follows you around all day, it is not just because the song is catchy. It is because your memory found a pattern. Your attention gave it room. Your inner ear rebuilt the sound, and some quiet rehearsal system kept it alive. The music stopped outside you. Inside, your brain kept the echo playing.